Jesus is risen today, hallelujah. We use that phrase all the time, but what does hallelujah mean? It means all praise to God, all praise to Yah, which is short for Yahweh. And our whole lives should be an hallelujah, giving praise to God. Now, in today's first reading from the Acts of the Apostles, Peter's sermon is extraordinary. First, he reminds the people about Jesus, what Jesus was about. Jesus went about doing good and delivering people from the oppression of the devil. And because Christ has risen, and we believe it, we have to have that hallelujah praise echo in our own lives so that we can live the same way. Go about, first of all, doing good. Every day of our lives, we have a choice to do good or do evil. Every moment, our salvation and the salvation of others can hang in the balance with the decisions we make. We want our lives to be aligned with the life of Christ, doing good. But also, the devil is in the details of our lives. Notice Jesus wasn't simply delivering people who were possessed by the devil. That's one aspect of the spiritual life. But those who were oppressed by the devil. And all of us are oppressed in one way or another by the devil. Whenever we cling to any of the vices that seem to grip to us like leeches. I know as a little boy I loved playing in the creeks around here, and every now and then I'd have the excitement of having a leech lash on to me. And you'd try to get those off and they'd flatten out. You couldn't just pull them off. No. Add a little bit of salt and they'd roll right off. You learn the tricks of how to de-leechify yourself. Well, later in this liturgy, we're going to de-leechify ourselves. You won't find that word in the dictionary. When we renew our own baptismal promises. And what will we be renouncing? We'll be renouncing the devil and all his works. What's that about? Think of the course of our lives. How many things cling to us, sapping us of our spiritual blood, robbing us of the joy that should be this part and parcel of being a disciple of Jesus. We can see how those vices change over the course of our lives. Many times when we're children, we tend towards laziness. Why? Because those adults that love us are doing all the heavy lifting. They're feeding us, they're clothing us. But we don't even want to clean up our rooms. We little chaos in our lives. Somebody else will do it. I don't mind. It's a little thing, but if it could grow in our lives more and more till finally we become adults and we still expect everybody else to do everything for us. And laziness is that one vice that robs us of our talents, robs us of our potential. Because as long as laziness clings to us, we will never be able to develop the gifts God has given us, which are only developed through hard work and sacrifice. Envy is something that saps us of joy. And it's one of those strange vices where there's no payoff for us. Other vices will give us money, will give us pleasure. Envy just makes us bitterness and sad. That person has a better house, a better husband, a better wife, a better job, is more popular. I deserve that. Those thoughts give us nothing except sorrow. The saints describe it as a very sharp knife with no handle. The more we cling to it, the more we cling to it and are pressed by it, the more we bleed. The only way to get rid of it is to let it go. And to rejoice in the success of others. When somebody gets a promotion, even one we think we should deserve, we should say, wow, that's great. I think you'll do a wonderful job in that position. You might think to yourself, well, I would have done a better job, but God bless you. And what happens then? You're free of that job. It's not oppressing you. Jealousy. We like someone so much, maybe a best friend, we don't want to share them with anyone else. That happens when we're children. But if that follows us into adulthood, we'll smother the people we love and won't let them grow and develop. We're oppressed by that vice of jealousy. Clinging to somebody so hard that they can't breathe and they can't grow and they can't be happy. Then there is anger, which is an emotion. It's sort of neutral because Jesus was angry on any number of occasions, but he was always angry out of love and inappropriate to what was happening. Now, in anger, not all people are born equal in a sense. Some babies are born angry, and some babies are born mellow before they even do anything. Personality traits. But the angry baby can become a great saint, being angry against sin and injustice, against the deceptions of the devil. Or the angry person could just become a walking minefield that anybody that comes into their path is afraid to touch for fear of an explosion. And the mellow person could become a great saint by being a reconciler, a peacemaker. But they could also be indifferent to sin and indifferent to injustice. Well, that's the way life is. I can't do anything about it. So whatever our personality traits are, we have choices to make. We want to be delivered from the oppression of the devil, which teaches us to go along with the crowd, follow the easiest course in our lives. And of course, there's lust, which means indulge yourself in any way you feel like. No one will get hurt. Don't listen to the teachings of the church. And how many hearts have been broken, lives shattered. How much bitterness and sorrow has come from that oppressive lie of the devil. All of those deadly sins and vices that cling to us through our lives. We need to saltify those leeches. Let them drop off so that we could actually be happy in this life, in our service with others. And that's what St. Paul's talking about in today's second reading. He says, put your minds on what's above, not what's below. Don't look to the lowest common denominator in life. Don't look to see what everybody else is doing, but look to see what everyone else should be doing with their lives. That's where we begin to find peace, happiness, and joy. It's not a peace and happiness and joy that comes without struggle, heartbreak, and sorrow. We will have grief. We will have disappointment. But we'll have a framework in which to approach it so that it doesn't sap us of our lives. Whatever we have that is disrupting our lives, we could hand over to the Lord of Calvary to take on himself, and it lightens our burdens. Now today, we know there are people that we've known and loved that are not celebrating this Easter with us for two reasons. Some because they've lost their faith. They're walking down another path. We have to pray for them, that their hearts of stone will be changed back to faithful, loving hearts. But then there are other people that have simply gone from this life to the next and are celebrating Easter this year before the throne of God. And for those, we need to rejoice and ask for their intercession so that we could persevere on our own loving paths and be better today than we were yesterday, and better still under the power of the risen Christ tomorrow. Now, when we leave this celebration today, we're going to become living tabernacles of the Lord of life, because we will have received his body and blood, soul and divinity in the Eucharist. How long will our awareness of that role that we have last? 5 minutes after going? 10 minutes? We should develop a consciousness of Christ in our lives so that we won't find the devil in the details of our lives, but the angels in the details of our lives. And all of us will be extraordinary witnesses to the truth that Christ has risen today. Hallelujah.